Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 451 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles. Happy Iowa Penn State week from our family to yours. Joined today by the one and only Ben Askren. Ben, how you doing? Good weekend?
Let's see. I had a pretty good weekend. I was in North Carolina for a couple days. I came back, coached some wrestling on Sunday. It was a good weekend.
Heck yeah. Did you? I'm hoping you watched some wrestling. There was a decent amount this week.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Big Ten Network's not fast enough putting it on YouTube, so I always have to watch out these hacked accounts. Our man, Havu No, he had to change his pseudonym this week. I'm really curious as to who it really is, who keeps, stealing these streams, putting them up. I'm appreciative of his efforts because I get to watch the matches faster, but I don't know that it's totally legal.
Yeah, it's in fact, it's probably totally illegal, in fact.
Some might say.
I think that
they're smart, though, because they're not putting up our streams.
Yeah.
Because I would...
Bracky's the angel of death. He has gotten so many YouTube accounts, and the best is what? Well, you tell him, Bracky, the best part.
Oh, the best is when they email you asking for mercy.
Yeah.
Because
mercy.
Because I used to put my personal email on there, so it would say this person
Kyle
got
Bracky.
your stuff removed. So they would send me an email, and the best was when we had Cadet or Junior Worlds, and some Russian account stole a bunch of stuff, and they were begging.
You can't mess with those Russians.
They were begging me in broken English to remove the strikes against them.
It's not too often you get to strike against Russia in a non-military setting. So Bracky was.
I won that battle.
Bracky won that one.
I won the Cold War.
Yeah, but if you look at this Havu No, right? You scroll back about 20 videos, and it's all like this person working in this rice paddy or something, and you're like, okay, what happened here? This is weird. And then it's all wrestling videos, right? And then what was the new one I told you about, CP?
It's the same one. I was just watching.
No,
it's
a new one.
Oh, you said it was the same one. Yeah, it was the.
No, well, I'm assuming it's the same person, and they're switching. It's called Flax TMC. That's the new one. Yeah.
All right. Well, that one. That's how I watched. So I tried to watch North Carolina versus Virginia Tech on ESPN Plus or whichever service it was. I couldn't get it, but someone stole it and put it on YouTube, so I watched it there.
So Flax TMC. If you scroll back through their video feed, it's all Vietnamese sewing things. It appears.
Oh, so this is our man. This is Ha's diversifying. All right, so I really want to talk about, first and foremost, Sammy Sasso's weekend, because
he did
did it.
Headline, I think
He did it. He did it. He beat them both. A Tuesday headline fulfilled, and there's a lot of side discussion. It's not just Sammy Sasso beat number 1 and number 4, whatever Brayton Lee was.
Yeah, you were getting lit up on Twitter.
Yeah, I guess so. It happens. And to me, I think the point is being missed here is we had a freshman ranked 6 go into Carver Hawkeye against number 1 and won. He won the match. You get what you earn needs to apply whether you agree with the ref's calls or not. There's no asterisk for you get what you earn. There's no little addendum to
unless the referees give it to you.
There's no clause for you get what you earn. You literally the beauty of that statement is it means what it says, right? And so I did watch that match, and as soon as it ended, I thought they got all the calls right, but I thought Sasso could have been warned for stalling more. And then I watched again, and I still probably feel that way. But I was like, he didn't take a shot. Sammy Sasso didn't take any shots. And then I rewatched it. I was like, well, he actually did shoot. And actually, 2 of the main scoring sequences, including the controversial sudden victory cradle, was off of Sasso's shot. And Lugo's reattacks to the left are so fast and crisp, you kind of lose sight of the fact that Sasso took kind of a bad shot and put himself in that position. He did it in the first or second period, and then he did it in the third. So he did attack. Now, he wasn't offensive enough for me to go that entire match without a warning, but the guy went in there and found a way to get it done. When one week ago, I was sitting with Anthony Ashnault, who was telling me that place is just different. it sucks the life out of you. It sucked the life out of him against Topher Carton. And then last year against Pat Lugo, he barely won that match. He was the kind of runaway national champion. He didn't have that many close matches last year. So that's a really hard place to win. And he was a 5th-year senior last year. So that's not my opinion of how hard it is to wrestle Carver. That's a national champion telling me that, right? And so for Sammy to do that is amazing. And you know what else they're not talking about? You get what you earn. He didn't get off the bottom. You had 30 seconds. You have to get away.
Yeah.
He didn't get away. Those are the rules of wrestling. So then he goes and he beats Brayton Lee, who is arguably a worse matchup than Pat Lugo. And it's kind of a similar match. And he gets 1 for stalling here. Brayton respectfully goes neutral in the 3rd. And Sasso's able to get a late takedown. I think Brayton, as hard as he was wrestling, started to run out a little bit there. And Sasso gets kind of a counter takedown, which was not actually similar to the cradle that Lugo had, which is what people are saying, but the positions
they don't understand wrestling fully.
That could be said, and you said it. Yeah. So that's what I think should be discussed about Sammy Sasso's weekend. I don't think there's some insane controversy. The guy went on the road as a freshman and took out the number 1 and avenged a previous loss to a hammer.
Man, Christian, you went so hard. You went so hard this morning. We might start calling you Stephen A. Smith.
Let's go. You love Stephen A.
I think he's fantastic.
He is.
Hey, so I actually felt like, you know what? I sometimes I watch wrestling just as a fan. Hey, I enjoy this. I want to see what happens. And when you guys were asking me about the Sammy Sasso Brayton Lee match on Thursday, I felt like I didn't have enough technical input because I haven't really watched those guys as like an analyst or, hey, my guy's gonna wrestle this guy. I need to study him. So I went back and studied six Sammy Sasso matches, including 4 versus Brayton Lee on Thursday afternoon. So I feel like I got to know the guy a whole lot better. I actually, after watching that, I came away that he was not going to probably beat Brayton Lee. And he's also kind of gives up an underhook too often. So then I thought, okay, he may struggle against Patrick Lugo also. But like you're saying, I think he has some flaws, but he sure as crap found a way to get it done on Friday and Sunday. So great job by him. And I think that's a really right thing moving forward. And yeah, does he need to change some things? Of course. And I agree with all your sentiments. Calls were correct in Iowa. And the cradles are definitely not the same for what it's worth.
Although it did give me visions of Mark Perry, Nick Marable. You may start shivering a little bit.
That was the biggest dog crap call ever.
So that was a crazy one because it was actually very similar to the.
He was on his feet. No, it was even worse because Nick was on his feet still. He wasn't even broken down to a hip or anything or a knee.
He wasn't on his hip. I thought he was at least grounded, but the cradle was kind of out front. Very controversial. Yeah. A lot of people. It's kind of hard to find that match. I think it may still exist on YouTube somewhere. But
I have not seen it in many years.
Yeah, you lost your mind. I remember when that happened. I remember hearing an interview with you about it. No takedown. It's waved off. Mark Perry, 2-time champ. Can't do nothing about it. Calls were good. Sammy Sasso gets it done. I thought Brayton looked really, really tough again.
Well, what do you guys make of Minnesota choosing 157 for the starting weight? Do you think they chose that because 149 was their premier match, or because they wanted to give Brayton as much rest as possible?
I don't know. Maybe it's that Sammy's. It's not a fun cut for Sammy. I could definitely see Tom Ryan and Brandon Agam saying, "Hey, let's end at 49. Let's do it." I could see both those guys just having synergy there and wanting to do it.
Not just end at 49, but have the co-main be 41, which is also two top guys.
It's just a smart way to do it. That is how I look into it. I think the 65 starting weight for Ohio State was strictly because they don't want to start with Spencer Lee, Austin DeSanto back-to-back. That's just not good. You win the duel, you don't start with those two guys. I think that was why they did that, but I think
it's tough to get away from a good 1-2 punch for Iowa. Because then you started with Marinelli Kimmer.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It just wasn't as big of mismatches as 25-33 was.
Yeah, they got a good 1-10 punch there at Iowa this year.
Yeah. I was saying I was talking about how Penn State matches up pretty tough against every team, and I said, except for Iowa, who has the bold strategy of having someone good at every single weight class.
Well, I think actually Penn State does not match up that poorly. When you look at, you're like, okay.
I don't either.
I could see it being a blowout, like where they win by 14, but I could also see a way where Penn State wins for sure.
Ben, I was mocked yesterday in the content meeting when I suggested
mocked.
The only person that mocked him was to his left.
His name is the Wrestling Nomad, aka Daniel Ward Lobdell Jr. He's like,
did you guys do some IP searches on Nomad this weekend to figure out where he was?
No, I got snitched on.
We got snitched.
So
we figured it out. He was in Kansas, which was our original theory.
That's what you were guessing.
It was your original theory because I told you.
Right, but that is a great reason for it to be completely wrong.
We didn't know what you were doing, all that stuff, and we figured it out.
It was funny though because I love telling you what I'm doing and you not what I'm doing, where I'm going, and you not believing me. That makes it all the better. Anyway,
that's pretty funny.
Yeah, we're kind of like, well, he's not going to Kansas, so 49 states to go. Can we rule out international travel? So yeah, I was mocked by the Wrestling Nomad when I said there's a clear path for Penn State to win this duel. Now I feel
let's go. What's the clear path, Christian?
Well, the clear path obviously involves upsets, but they have winnable matches.
Are you saying Brandon Meredith over Spencer Lee? Is that what we're talking about?
I'm saying just by decision. I don't think Meredith can get the bonus there. No, that's 5 or 6 guaranteed. Spencer needs to put that guy. Yeah. He needs to get the pinfall.
Shoulders to the mat.
Shoulders to the mat.
Iowa fans are going to get mad with my hot rankings again.
Well, probably.
But RBY doesn't have a good chance, but he's got a chance. I think
I would say he's got
favorite.
30% chance. They can win 33, 41, 65, 74, almost without argument. Those are very
80. I mean, listen, if you asked about 84 last April, Brooks is the far and away favorite. I mean, it's not. You guys are not thinking it's competitive. And so now that 8 months later, you can't say no. Assad's going to beat him for sure. Give me a freaking break.
Assad has really close matches. I don't think it's a good matchup for Aaron Brooks personally. I see him getting a first takedown, but almost a little like the Venz match, right? Looks good early, but I think he's gonna make some positional mistakes. I also think Brooks isn't quite the full size 84 when I watch him. I think he's really good.
But he wrestled 86 kg. I mean, that's 189 pounds.
I know. I just look at him. I look at him next to Venz. I look at him in another match. I haven't stood next to him.
Okay.
To my knowledge, Nomad hasn't recently stood next to him, but I just don't think he's particularly large. But you can't say that's not a winnable match, right? You can't say 184.
Oh, it's definitely a winnable match.
You can't say, and listen, Shakur does not look right at all. But if he becomes an 80 to 90% version of himself, he's going to be in that match with Jacob Warner, who didn't even wrestle last week, right? Didn't even wrestle against Colin Moore.
For sure.
So there's 6, and then Neville's and Cassiope is going to be a 1-2 takedown. You hate Seth Neville.
Neville stalled it out against my man Christian Lance. He had to stall it out to beat Christian Lance. He ain't beating Big Tone.
No, he ain't big. He is not beating Big Tone.
I'll say Christian Lance did impress me. He was in deep a couple times.
Man,
he almost got him.
I know.
Almost got him.
I know.
I really thought he had it when he had it standing. Just all the momentum. It was so crazy in there. Just couldn't. Seth's just a little too big. He put a real ride on him.
That was an awesome dual meet. That was a really
very
awesome
fun dual meet. Yes. Very fun. So yeah, I think there is a clear path for Iowa, and I don't know if this is the Iowa Penn State one. I'll be gone Thursday, so we'll have to do our full Iowa Penn State predictions Wednesday. We'll still have the show Thursday. Fret not. I just want to be here.
Are you gonna give him a big announcement now, or what, CP?
Big announcement. Well, the ink's not dry or existent yet, but there's a strong likelihood Ben Askren and I are going to be commentating live from Iowa Penn State. You'll be able to listen live, no video, but like FRL, audio only, of the Iowa Penn State duel. We're really pumped. So maybe you can sync that up with the Big Ten Network, or if you're
all you gotta do is mute hip separation, and then we're good to go.
Mute
laces
what?
Up, hip separation.
Do you know hip separation is going to be on the call?
Prison string.
I'm about to give a Quake take. This could be the end of my broadcasting career. It's it's not even a hot take. It's a Quake take. It's bigger. It's an earthquake.
Oh, I don't know about these.
Ken Chertow, he was kind of good. I thought he did a good job against Penn State, Nebraska.
He started off really rough.
He's got to get his motor going. But once he got going,
Bracky, get your man there. Come on.
Listen,
I can't endorse this take.
You gotta listen. Listen, if you listen to it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have a really open mind here because he's had some clunkers. He called Anthony Cassar Caesar the whole time, even though the other guy said Cassar. Now I can't even say it. I've been church out. But he gives some good technical analysis. He's got a lot of energy. I like it. I like it. You know what? Is he the best? I don't know. But I liked it. And that's all I'm going to say.
He at least wasn't trying to sell us Advocare during the broadcast.
There was no Advocare. He didn't try to get us to enter to go to his camp system. It was all about the wrestling. I appreciate it.
I have a pertinent question about you guys doing radio commentary, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
Is it allowed to be archived, or do the fans? Is it just you gotta listen live?
Yeah.
Okay. Why? Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't get to archive those things.
We're archiving it.
We are? Okay.
We're willing. Yeah. So fired up about that. Ben and I will be. Excited. Ben's gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. Bader's gonna be there.
I'm so excited.
Caleb's
I hope
going.
I don't get harassed too hard by the Iowa fans.
Yeah, you probably will. We probably both will collectively.
You guys probably should leave me alone.
Yeah, they ain't gonna mess with you. Okay. Any thoughts on the Iowa-Ohio State duel, Benjamin?
There wasn't. I don't think there's anything that was shocking to us. But I thought it was an awesome duel all the way in. I mean. Do we want to go weight by weight, or you want me to run through what I thought of every matchup?
I want to know what you thought.
Okay, 25, what we expected. Malik Kiss can't hang with him. 33, man, DeSanto got 3 takedowns without Decatur ever leaving his knees. That was wild. That was like old school Iowa stuff.
That was like some Tom and Terry highlight videos.
That's what that was.
TNT.
I remember watching
that
stuff
made
like
me
that when I
think
was a kid.
of because we talked about Ramos scoring 29 on that Visconti guy. That reminded me of that. He scored 27 while giving him the first takedown.
Yes.
Man, Decatur has some serious head issues to fix. Obviously, the skill is there, and obviously I realize cardio is never going to be his strong point. It just isn't. But, he got 3 takedowns against Seth Gross and still got majored. If he can figure out the bottom thing or, he could be really good, but he's got to figure out something up top there. I mean, he has such a large fear of getting tired that it's overwhelming him.
Yeah, is that what you think it is? Because I watched him.
Absolutely.
And obviously these two wrestlers couldn't be more different. But against Jake Gliva, he attacked for 7 minutes straight. He was really on that guy, so which makes me think it's more in his head than in his body. Although I don't know. DeSanto certainly brings you to a level that is, not fun. But I watch it and think the same thing too. Like, man, if he could
definitely,
get those things.
100% his head. I mean, everybody's different, right? Like, I can't run a 100-yard dash faster than 15 seconds, and I'm sure Decatur's strong point is not the marathon. But that being said, he could do a lot better than he did on Friday night. And, I got to work on my speed sometimes, right? So everybody's a little bit different. But, yes, a lot of it is in his head. He's kind of probably overwhelming himself with bad thoughts, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Ben, we don't want you too fast, man. I think you're fast enough.
My fastest 40-yard dash ever, it was 5.3. That is like grease lightning, Brecky. Sign me up for an NFL draft or something.
You can make the roster as a special teams guy or something.
Man.
I was thinking, long snapper. I was a long snapper as a kid. You got to twist the ball so it spins nice. Yep.
There you go.
You probably would be, and they can't even touch you.
They can't touch you at all. Yeah,
We'll get you in a camp with Casey Kreider.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll snap to him all day long.
Scrambles and snaps or something. Camp. It could be like
combo camp.
But you can really hit that sweet spot of long snappers and high school wrestlers. I think this camp's going to be huge. It'll be bigger than the 28-day intensive camp in a couple years.
That's funny.
Also, just circling back to the Ohio State-Minnesota weight thing, Jason Bryant said Tom Ryan told him he wanted to start at 25. So that could have been strategic for Minnesota because Mitch McKeague cuts a lot of weight too.
He do.
And they've chose to draw before with Lezak, remember?
They're big draw. Yeah, they love to draw. They always have one guy that's cutting like crazy.
Not to go back to completely derail it back to Sasso Lugo, but didn't Sasso's weekend kind of illustrate why we all picked him to win NCAAs? Like, he can get a takedown when he needs it, he can stop a takedown when he needs it, and he can ride a guy when he needs to. Like, he does all 3 things and he can get out, obviously. He does all the things like you're supposed to do when you're in a weight class like that, where it's I mean, we don't need to go over that again, like just how tight that weight class is.
Yeah.
It's just it's really important to him, and there's that winning component too. Yep. The moment wasn't. I didn't think the moment would be too big for Sammy when I made the pick originally, and clearly it wasn't in this instance. Now, I have not a shred of confidence at 149, and I am no more confident in Sammy winning 149 than I was going into the weekend. Sure. It's going to be whoever's feeling right at 49. Lugo can totally win this weight. O'Connor can win. Brayton Lee can win. Bulu Allen can win. Obviously, Sammy can win. There's 5 guys right there, and I probably didn't mention someone that's really good. So it's going to be wild, but yeah, okay. 41, Ben.
Clutch looked great, but we didn't get to see him against Murin, which was unfortunate. So I think we could just move on from that. 49, I think you encompassed it really well there in saying that Sasso, I thought he could win before the weekend. I think he went after, but I'm not all that more certain he's going to win. I mean, probably the only benefit is that he's now going to get a better seed than if he would have went 0-2. That's probably ideal. Maybe, get him a 8 or 9 in the quarters instead of a 2 or 3 if he was a 6 or 7 seed because he lost, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
but
ideal.
The thing is, he's got he'll still have to. No, I think his schedule lays out pretty good, but he's going to be at Big Tens, and if you fall apart at Big Tens or lose 2 matches there, your seed can go from great to crushed.
He's probably going to be the number 1 seed at Big Tens, right? You would think.
Yeah, you would think.
Because he lost to the Virginia Tech kid, and he lost to Brayton, but then he avenged it.
Right, and the Big Ten duel often has more weight to it for whatever reason. Also, Lugo and Brayton will wrestle at some point.
Yeah,
they have a duel. That'll be big.
Ohio State's remaining schedule: Maryland, Nebraska, Northwestern, Penn State. So Sammy will be favored in all of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So likely the number 1 seed. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I skipped 57 because I wasn't all interested. I don't know if you guys have anything on it.
No, keep going.
65, I thought Ethan Smith did a good job. I mean, he got a few takedowns in there. He fought hard. They're in a tough situation because Ethan Smith is turning the corner. Caleb Romero is turning the corner, in my opinion. And then they got Carson Karchel on the bench. So where are they going to put those 3 guys next year? Because I believe Smith and Romero are both sophomores, right?
Yeah, they're young. Yeah. I think, man, is there any way Karchler can go 57?
I don't feel like that's even a
man,
possibility.
He's not tall. He's so good, though. I mean, he beats those guys.
He's kind of thick, too.
He's thick, but he's short. I don't know. If you're asking how it happens, I think it's something like that. I don't – man.
Well, I'm going to pull a nomad. I got to wrestle with him when I was down there in, I don't know, I think it was the Rooted Summit or something. I got to wrestle with him, and I'll tell you, he did not feel like a 57-pounder.
He feel big?
He felt thick and strong.
Yeah, and you don't want to suck the muscle out of him either to get him down to 57. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough choice. I don't know who goes. They have
maybe one of those bulk job.
I feel like neither of those guys really fit the profile of a bulk job candidate, but it may just have to be that. I mean, Romero's just kind of spindly. I don't see him being able to pack on like serious muscle to be 84. So, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do next year. But, yeah, Ethan Smith right now wrestling really, really well. And they'll cross that bridge when they get there.
I could honestly see Karchla, Smith, Jordan being the lineup next year.
No Romero.
Smith.
No
Romero?
Yeah. Which stinks because he's number 9 right now?
Yeah, he's looking good.
Number 7.
Just beat Skaska.
7, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
They're going to have somebody good on the bench.
Someone good will be on the bench.
Yeah.
It's part of the
really good.
The good program thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 65. I mean, it was kind of weird. He got 14-10. It was simultaneously Marinelli pushing for the major while Ethan Smith was like, no, actually, I'm just going to keep scoring points and make this a regular
he got that
decision.
last takedown. And not only did he get the takedown, he wrote him out. I mean, for what it was like 35, 40 seconds. I mean, it was a fairly long ride out. So obviously, Alex Marinelli probably can't be happy with that performance where you get taken down, ridden out the last 40 seconds of the match when you're going for the major. So I was impressed with Ethan Smith's composure, the way he stayed in the match. And I think he's been making big jumps this year because I wasn't nearly as impressed with him last year. I think he's really stepping up.
Yeah, I agree. And to see him finish twice is encouraging, as that's the biggest hurdle for him in my estimation. He finished on his feet that first high crotch he took against Marinelli. Got a little over-aggressive, and Marinelli's reattacks are so smooth that he paid the price for those. But overall, good job. And then Kimmer Romero.
Yeah, Kemmer's just too good. Yeah. I think, I think we'll see where he's at with Mark Hall this weekend. I can't foresee him beating Mark Hall, but I think he's a very clear top 4 guy. I mean, the Lighty match I could see, or Labriola maybe I could see sneaking in there, but damn, Kemmer's having a really good year.
Yeah, he looks good. And then Assad Jordan, as I kind of mentioned, pretty tight match there with Assad winning that one.
Yeah, I mean, Rocky, I had not watched Rocky a whole lot prior to this year. But, I feel like he doesn't have a real dynamic offense. He's just solid positionally, good basic takedowns. But, obviously Assad kind of can match him with that type of stuff. So, I don't know. Just clear win by Assad, and that's all there is to it.
Hey, big shout out, Vogar Arujau on the Facebook. Carson will go 65 and be starter. He's really good.
That's a Russian bias right there.
That's from Vogar. Dude, but he also knows. He knows.
Well, everyone freaking knows. Do we need a Russian to tell us the Russian's good?
Listen, I'm just reading the man's thoughts. I'm honored that Vogar listens. That's exciting to me.
Yeah.
Also, I want to read one comment from Nathan Clements. He said, "Did DeSanto give up the first takedown so he could score more points? Did he listen to FRL last week?"
He might have. Is he going for the Wisconsin State takedown record?
I saw someone made that meme. That was really funny.
Cannot rule that out. 97, no Jacob Warner. And so
where's Jacob Warner? Did anyone ask?
Coach Brands kind of made it sound. All right, so he said that Murin was nicked up, but he just made it sound like the decision is just no Warner. Just like, no. Not for any. It didn't sound like an injury-related reason. I don't know.
Oh. He was chasing girls too much on Thursday night.
I don't think it was that.
I would have liked to have, it's a press conference, so it's hard to get follow-up sometimes. But just, what do you mean by that? Like Warner didn't have a good week of practice, and so we wanted to send a message to him, or like he wanted to get him healthy. He wanted, him to only have to wrestle more once. Like what the reason was, but I mean, Brands always has a method to the madness, right? So I think Jacob will respond in the right way to it.
I remember, I've been thinking about this, team sitting guys and us talking about, and Ben basically saying it's been like this, and I'm starting to think more and more that that's the case. And then I was remembering, I don't know why I had this epiphany. But I remember reading A Season on the Mat, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been West Hand against Lesnar, but I can't remember who. But Gable's held a guy out of a match, and he said he hasn't earned the right to wrestle someone that good. Now, I'm not saying that's what Coach Brands was saying with Warner and Colin Moore, because he's wrestled him before, but that was something that Gable did, right? And I remember that very distinctly. I can't remember who it was. I'm sure someone in the Facebook or YouTube chat has read that book a bunch of times like me. Can't remember who it was. If I had to guess.
Keep an eye out.
Yeah, keep an eye
out. A bunch of times? How many times have you read? I read the book once. How many times have you read it, CP?
Probably 3.
Yeah,
3?
I don't know.
Dang, you guys love that book, huh?
I love it.
Is it Caleb's bedtime story?
Caleb hasn't read it yet. I'm not sure when to.
What? Why are you withholding this from Caleb? He's definitely old enough to read that book.
All right, I'll give it to him. I'll give it to him right now.
Tonight. It should have been Christmas.
Go give it to him right now. Take him out of school and give it to him right now.
I'm going to go to Miss Clement's class and no. All right, I will tonight. Fine. You dared me. Man. I just thought about that this morning for whatever random reasons things pop into my head. So yeah, who knows why, but there's always a reason. And then
sorry, one more thing. And if Terry Brands thought there even a small injury, just didn't look good, and obviously, it's going to be a big upset for Warner to beat Colin Moore anyway. So if he doesn't have to throw him out there to take an L, and obviously we know Jacob Warner has made it very clear that there are some mental issues, right? When he's yelling, "Why does this always happen to me?" It's very clear that there's something up top here. And so if he doesn't want to throw him out there to get embarrassed by Colin Moore, I think that's probably a wise move.
Well, and also, get him a couple weeks of just hard training and get him ready, because the date is January 31st. It's Shakur Rashid. It's 197. It's against Penn State. And that's the one where you really want to be completely locked in. You didn't need him. You've got Cash Wilkie. You've got a seasoned senior. And, you'll see him at Big Tens potentially and maybe NCAA. So, pragmatically, it makes sense. And finally, I love Gibbons just called Gas Tank Gary the gas tank.
Yeah.
He just kept calling him the gas tank. He's got the gas tank's leg. But he was just, for all Jim Gibbons knows, he thinks his name is the gas tank. I love it.
Oh my God!
But now everyone.
Did you see Minnesota did?
Yeah.
Minnesota did 32. They wrote the gas tank ran out of gas on a tweet.
No, they called him Gas
rude.
Tank Gable.
Yeah, they said gas tank. But Minnesota
No.
on BTN. Yeah, Ben's right. Minnesota on BTN sent a tweet out and was like, "Looked like gas tank ran out of gas." Wisconsin did the same thing when Thor beat them.
How rude! How rude!
Yeah.
It's all in good fun.
It's all in fun.
And then Ohio State parties back on them, and they send them the final score.
Yeah, that's
duel.
that's the kind of trump card that Ohio State tends to have in these.
Well,
dual
they
meets.
can only do that against Minnesota, but
and other teams they beat.
yeah. But we were talking about the Iowa duel too.
Oh,
and they lost that one.
Yeah, I can't
They could not do that.
In Iowa, I
hey
think
guys,
they didn't party on it.
I was a Christian.
No.
I was a big winner last week. I also got the over/under on Ohio State. It was 9.5. They scored 11. Is that
Yeah, you took the over. I don't think I took the over.
No, we all took the
No.
under.
We all took the under. So
Yes,
yes.
pay up. We need to crank out the push-ups or something.
All right, no problem. You owe me push-ups for a bet you lost against me. But you never paid up.
What did
I'm
I
sure-
do? What did I bet?
You bet me that Kyle Hutter was an All-American for Old Dominion. I was like, no, he's not.
Was he an All-American?
No. You didn't
Oh,
believe-
come on, Kyle. Kyle Hunter, why'd you let me down?
This is a long time ago. Obviously, we're talking about Kyle Hutter. He was a beast.
Oh,
Though.
I love push-up bets.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so that was Ohio State. At least Gas Tank Gary, he locked up that 2 overs. He was not going down without a fight. He's just outmatched against these elite
Yeah,
heavyweights.
he fights the whole time. He almost scored that little shuck by takedown there at the end against Cassiope.
Yeah, he really had him on the ropes. No, we'll edit that out. All right, where do you want to talk about next, Ben? There's a lot of other matches.
I want to talk about math, Christian.
Oh, shoot.
Your premonitions have finally came true. The team score difference went from 67 last week to only 63 this week, so the gap is narrowing.
The prophecy fulfilled.
As
It's gonna keep coming. After Big Tens, it's gonna get a lot closer, and then by NCAAs, it could be under 20 points. Who knows what happens?
All right. 63 to 20. It's a little bit of a stretch, but we'll do it.
It's gonna happen.
Let's talk about Nebraska versus Penn State. Is an awesome dual meet. I think, I don't know. Maybe this is recency bias, kind of like with you saying guys are sitting out. I feel like duels are more exciting than they've ever been. I feel like, I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago there weren't like a couple. There feels like there's like a couple pins or texts in every big duel meet. Does it? I mean, am I totally off base here?
Just like there's big moments and
There's big moments. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel maybe it's recency bias.
yeah, it could be, but I don't know. It does feel a little different. I think part of it is like there's a lot more fan support at the dual meets too. I just like the energy around. I mean, just watching.
Oh, that's true.
Purdue Rutgers is on paper a completely inconsequential match for these aren't teams that are really Purdue may be contending for a trophy, but they're a long shot. But man, both those teams were so fired up, such good energy.
Oh yeah,
Parker
awesome.
Phillies versus JoJo Aragona doesn't mean much in the national scheme of things, but man, that was a really good match. And same with the heavyweight match, it was really cool. So I think you are getting more of those moments now. I think it's great.
Yeah, and then the Nebraska, I think the Nebraska said the biggest crowd in their history.
Yeah, I did.
So I mean, yeah, right. So this match is awesome. It starts out Thompson Meredith went to overtime, good match, and then you made the point that the Penn State guys looked their studs looked really good.
Mm-hmm.
I would generally agree with that. Mark Hall kind of came in clutch and pinned Labriola, which in what was a very close match. But what I would say back to that, Christian, is in the other spots where Penn State needs to score points, I feel like they got further away. I mean, Shakur didn't look great. Aaron Brooks didn't look great. Obviously, Bo Piper, Jared Verclaren, Brandon Merritt, these guys did not have great matches. So in some spots, they looked really good, but in other spots, not so good.
I thought their big dogs looked great. I mean, Nick Lee, Major, Chad Red. I have written off 25 as just – they're just not – it's just not in the conversation, so I'm not like looking for something there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but Penn State can't score points at 33, 41, 65, and 74 and win a national title. It's impossible. Iowa's too good this year.
Yeah,
They're too
perhaps
good.
that's true. They need, where they do need are the weights you mentioned. I mean, 84 and 97 have to be good at NCAAs this year for Penn State to be in the mix. If Brady Berge doesn't come back, I think you stick a fork in it completely. But I think he will be back.
You think he's back?
I do think he'll be back. I'm hopeful at least.
Damn. Okay. Let's see. Well, what are the takeaways from this tournament? Labriola, I used. Can I relive my high school glory for a second?
Let's do it.
My senior year of high school, I get the first takedown in the sectional finals. So it's regionals and sectional in the state. So sectional finals against the number 2 ranked kid in the state. I hurt my ankle in the takedown. I got taken down 3 times in a row because I couldn't really stand up. Okay. Second period, I choose top.
Yeah, baby.
I fake like I'm gonna let him go. He turns in, bam, cradle on him, stick him, and I hobble off the mat. And that was exactly the tactic that Mark Hall used. Why Mike Labriola just turned in and got cradled? Listen, bro, you're a college wrestler ranked in the top 10. You should know, just like, hey, don't just look at the guy and get cradled. Come on, that was absurd.
It's something you see the Penn State guys do and other guys do. Every time I see a near side cradle locked up off kind of a release situation, I'm like, what? How does that happen so much?
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm like, I don't understand it. It's like it's just ingrained in you as someone that's been pinned a lot. You know, head near the knee is typically not typically not good. It's like, all right, well, I don't want to do
Expert
this.
analysis from CP. I love it.
Yeah, see, that's where Ben and I have great synergy. The cradler and the cradlee, or the cradled. So you just kind of know,
awesome,
right?
CP.
You kind of know. But you see it all the time, so I figure they just kind of get tricked or something, or maybe they think they're somewhere else and they're doing it. But you see it routinely. Yeah, it's not. And you see it against good wrestlers too.
Well, yeah, Labriola's really good. There's what, 20 seconds left in the dual meet. He's losing by 4, so if he gets cut, he's losing by 3. And then he just turns in and gets stuck. Come on.
Yeah.
One thing, and I've been not poo-pooing Penn State, but just I've been very much like I think this is Iowa's year. I think it's just no question that they're better this year, and I think part of that's because of Penn State's injuries. But all of that aside, I have really enjoyed watching Mark and Chenzo their senior years try to put their teams on their back. Like Chenzo creating separation from Isaiah White, Mark Hall stalling out Joey Gunther, getting a pin against Labriola, just doing things that seniors are supposed to do to carry your team and be like, no, this team race isn't over. We're going to do everything that we can. We're going to make sure that we do everything in our power to make Penn State as good as it's been. So it's just been really awesome to watch those two this year, and just how they've, in my opinion, they've put their team on their back as much as they possibly can.
And we said Chenzo White is a 1 to 2 takedown, 2-point match every single time. And he came out, White stung him with 2 hard doubles. Chenzo, his hips have to be just unreal strong. Best hips in the country, I'll say. And then a 5-1, just White was never in the match after that, right? That sends a message. So those two guys looked really good. RBY and Lee looked really good. But yeah, as you say, Ben, it's 49 is going to be tough for them. 57 without Berge is going to be tough. And if that's the version of Shakur that they're going to get, it's going to be tough. But also maybe the conversation is Eric Schultz is just maybe on the level right now. He beat Jacob Warner and Shakur Rashid back-to-back weeks. So he does have some losses this year, but still, maybe Schultz is just right there.
Yeah, I don't think you're thinking of. I think you're thinking of Schultz. At least in my head, I don't know how you guys name him. He's an All-American type guy, but he's not I don't think Eric Schultz can challenge for a title.
Right.
And that's kind of like if you said to me, well, can Shakur sneak in for an All-American spot right now? Yeah, sure. Shakur was the number 2 seed at Nationals last year. So if you said to me, could Shakur challenge for a title right now? I'd say no way.
No way. That's all.
And that's what they need. That's what they need. That's what they need.
Part of me wonders, did he not, with the weight change kind of mid-year, the plan was for him to go 84. Yeah. Is he not big enough? Does he not trust his knee yet? Is he not just fully – has he just been off the mat too much? I don't know. Yeah. It could be a number of things.
It's probably a combination of all that.
Yeah. Dude, and Schultz looked big out there too.
He's looked probably the best he's ever looked these past few weeks.
And the most concerning thing was guys are getting away from Shakur, and that's his thing. He gets on top, he can trap the leg and work for cradles. If if he's not riding, it's gonna be even tougher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he had a mean. He was known for his crossface cradle, obviously, and not doing so hot on top at all.
No.
Who knows? Maybe he sticks Jacob Warner on Friday night and the roof blows off of Carver Hawkeye.
Oh my gosh.
You never know. That will not be my Tuesday headline.
Oh, okay. I can't wait for that. We'll have to do those Wednesdays.
You could steal that.
All right. I probably won't because I'm going to Iowa City. I like safety. Okay. Any further thoughts on Penn State, Nebraska? I mean, that Mark Hall pin, how big is that? They maybe don't win.
Huge.
Actually, they don't win, probably.
They don't win.
Yeah.
Crazy. If he doesn't hit the cradle.
Let me think. No, I didn't see Nick Lee beating Chad Red that bad. I thought that was going to be way more competitive. And really the Lovett, Bravo Young over Lovett. There was it was 5-3 and Lovett took a dumb shot and then also got caught in inside cradle. I actually was just telling the kids I coached last week that's a great situation when you hit that go behind and they turn in to cradle them up. And so that went from a 5-3 match to a 11-3 match in the last 20, 30 seconds.
Yes, and Lovett was almost pinned there as well. There's some controversy over the Verclaren pin. I thought he looked pinned.
I thought that was a pin for sure.
I thought he was okay. Thank you. As someone that did a lot of pins.
What about you guys? Everyone else agrees or no? I didn't even realize it was I watched it by myself. I didn't realize it was controversial.
No, he was glued.
Twitter was Penn State Twitter was not pleased. They thought it was bad pin call.
Shocking.
Also, the ref was literally right there in position, like in perfect position, staring at the pin.
Can I give a shout out? Because sometimes I take a crap on refs, and I feel like it's fair. I was at NC State, Virginia. This freaking referee, I don't know who he was. He was nailing every scramble. He was on top of it. He didn't miss award takedowns. He held the points when they should be held. He was on fire. That's all I got to say. Referee, nice. NC State, Virginia.
All right, we'll try to.
We can talk about that duel if you want to.
I did not watch. I did not watch that duel.
I'll fill you in. Jacob Camacho wrestled really competitively against Jack Mueller. It was 4-2, and he was kind of bringing the heat on him. No other real big matches except Nick Greening got hurt against J.A.L.O. I think
did that look bad.
I didn't think so. I didn't think it looked that bad. It was in a scramble. I believe it was the first scramble of the match, if I'm correct. And man, that wasn't a very big dual meet. But UNC, NC State are in the Reynolds Arena is freaking awesome.
Yes.
Beautiful place, and it was really loud. And actually, I had Pat Pop and Coleman Scott both on the Rudis podcast yesterday, which will be coming out today. And it's so impressive how good the ACC is getting. I mean, they have 4 teams that are top, 10, 12?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Somewhere there. It's so impressive. And so NC State, UNC wrestle in a couple weeks. I feel like there's going to be a lot of heat in that dual meet.
Yes. I can't wait for that duel. Yeah, we've been talking about ACC a lot. Really tough conference. And maybe that's a good segue for the UNC Virginia Tech beatdown. North Carolina 23, Virginia Tech 10 in a duel I thought would be super close, and I kind of leaned VT because I thought, they might have the advantage in the lightweights. And really, the coin flip matches, they went UNC's way. They were just more ready. They were better. And then the big one, of course, Kennedy Monday. Tech falls David McFadden. McFadden got the first takedown here, and then it was all terrible from then. From then on, what can you say? Monday was getting to legs, putting him down, putting him on his back routinely.
Well, I mean, real. Okay, so I Kennedy Monday did great. I don't want to take anything away from that, but David McFadden did the same dumb A thing 2 times. He tried to do a halfway leg pass and got caught in a Turk off two of Kennedy Monday's attacks. So, I usually think of David McFadden as a really intelligent wrestler, but that was some really bad decision making there.
Yeah, I don't know what was. I would have never. If you give me 10 guesses at the result, I would never have guessed Monday would technical fall David McFadden. And yeah, I do think he was making some tactical errors, and I think Kennedy Monday was ready for the dive roll, which McFadden is really good at. But yeah, as far as getting split that many times, that shouldn't happen to a 5th-year senior, 3-time All-American. But it did. So yeah, crazy. Honestly, when a match is like that much of an outlier, sorry, I kind of like, I don't know what to make of that yet. I'm not ready to make some sweeping proclamation that now.
Make a sweeping proclamation, please.
Okay, my proclamation is that this means nothing to me, basically. I don't look at.
Wow.
What am I just to believe that all of a sudden Kennedy Monday didn't lose to the guy he lost to already this year, and that
I'm going to look it up right now who he lost to.
I tweeted it the other day, and now I don't. He lost to Quentin
when
Perez.
you say sweeping proclamation, you know who I think of sweeping I think Nomad makes sweeping proclamations. Like that's like I think Nomad. I think sweeping proclamations.
So he lost to Phil Conigliaro, Danny Bronigal, and Shane Griffith and Quentin Perez this year. He got pinned by Perez, which was a really crazy close match. Lost 7-5 to Conigliaro.
All those guys are pretty tough. I mean,
exactly. Kennedy Monday's really tough. Yeah, I think Kennedy Monday's really tough too. But I'm not ready to put him in that top 5 category yet. Even though before the season, I was like, I was super high on Kennedy. I was like, this is a guy. If you're looking at UNC's lineup, where they're not getting a lot of rankings points, this is a dude that I think has the ability to be a top 5 guy. And that's what I said at the beginning of the year. But then he's gone on to – so I think he can beat a lot of these guys, but – the other thing we've seen is he can lose to a lot of guys, and no one's putting Phil Conigliaro and Danny Bronigal on the podium right now. I'm not.
Right.
Outside of Chapel Hill and the Monday family, I don't know if there's been a bigger defender of Kennedy Monday than CP.
Yes.
For 2.5 years now.
Yeah, I still think he could make a deep run, but I'm not going to say, well, he tech faulted McFadden, so he's better than McFadden, and he's going to go on and win ACCs and be top 5.
If you tech fault someone, it usually means you're better than them.
We'll see.
This goes back into the
let's go back.
Tech.
David McFadden was technical fouled by Max Roscoff, and then that year McFadden placed 5th at NCAAs. And
what's up with McFadden giving up tech falls to people?
It doesn't happen much, but it happened then. It happened then, and Max DMP'd. I think he was 1-2 or 0-2 that year. So it actually does not mean that, and I feel like it probably has happened other times.
In fairness to McFadden, he's only lost by bonus points twice in his entire career.
Yes.
Those are his only 2 bonus point losses. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he just has those days where he says, "I'm going to give up 20 points today, dog."
He's like, "I'm going to get in a shootout, and it may not go well." So I don't know. I kind of throw it out a little bit. We'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my take. I don't know if you have any other opinions.
I mean. That blows me away that he's been tech faulted multiple times. I would not have guessed that at David McFadden. And I mean, when you watch this match, even in the third period, right after I said he gave him 12 points out of the poor funk roll, but even third period, Kennedy Monday goes and gets the takedowns to finish the match, to finish the tech fall. So it's like it's really hard to say, well. Yeah, Kennedy Monday is not a lot better than David McFadden. It's just hard for me to think and or say that.
Yeah. Well, I'll say I wish I was going to ACCs because I think it's gonna be a really fun team race. I think you can't throw Pitt out, but I think UNC, NC State, Virginia Tech are probably the class of the ACC and the ones likely to emerge. I think it's gonna be. I was at ACCs. Oh shoot! It was before I worked at Flow. It was at UVA. It was awesome. And
that's where you got that Darren Caldwell video at, right?
Yeah, that was one.
What Darren Caldwell video?
Where Darren Caldwell, this is probably definitely illegal, but we were just there. It was me and my wrestler Zach Ritchie were there. We got like press credentials, and we're just like filming matches of the ACC and putting them up. And Darren Caldwell did like a cartwheel against, I think it was Nick Stabile of UNC.
Yeah, someone from North Carolina.
And then he does a cartwheel out, and then he immediately turns face and does a super ducks him for 2. It was like the most.
Oh, I remember that. Yes.
Yeah,
it's sick.
That was filmed by me. That was like my pre-Flow debut. But anyways, this close team race is really, really exciting. So the ACCs is really fun.
I think we'll learn a lot about NC State and Pitt this weekend because they wrestle on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
So we'll get a better feel for how that will probably shake up in March.
Yes, indeed. Okay, so that was what?
I always enjoy when you're like, well, so what do we do next year?
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know where we want to go next, but a lot of people do want us to talk about UNI Oklahoma State.
Dude, that was such a fun duel.
Dude.
It was great. It was great. And
that was another crowd that was packed. I mean, I don't know how many people they had in there, but it looked like a lot.
It looked awesome. It sounded awesome. Those people are crazy about UNI. And I think you kind of saw in the first match, you can kind of get these little, like, these kind of pictures of the team, right? It's like, UNI was a little bit leveled up there. They looked have a little bit more. You could see it in the Schwarm match. Schwarm had been teched and majored by Pitch. And there were some dicey scenarios there where Pitch had to go out. Mm-hmm. He had a quick escape takedown type of thing, and obviously he's better than Schwarm on his feet. But Schwarm had some threatening positions.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to get away from Schwarm there when Pitch got that turn in the first.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But then he battled back, and like you said, he almost had that cradle a few times.
Yeah. So you knew then, it's like, okay. And then Skolarczyk, the pride of Austin, Texas.
Westlake.
Big shout. That's right. We're coming. We're coming, guys. At least Jack is. And he takes out Reese Whitcraft, that's definitely a toss-up match, which I thought Jack would win that one probably. And then 41, another toss-up. And UNI, Blockus takes out Dusty Hone.
Well, and the Skolarczyk win looks even better because in the next day, Reese Whitcraft beats Todd Small.
Todd Not Small. So, and also that kind of plays into another thing of like two Oklahoma State teams. I thought Oklahoma State.
I think John Smith gave him a good old butt chewing on Saturday. I said, boys, I don't know what you were doing there in that arena, but if it happens like that again tomorrow, we're going to have some issues. And they said, I don't want issues with John Smith. So we better go out and wrestle.
Doggone it, they did. I was like, man, they got to make weight in like 10 hours. They're going to be hating life so hard. They just lost to UNI for the first time since 91.
Well, let's finish with the UNI duel, then get to that duel.
1991. How old were you?
I wasn't born yet.
Daggone it, he wasn't born.
You were born yet, Bracky?
No.
I was born in 92.
I was probably either 0 or 1, depending on
my gosh, he was
0
years old.
No, man, you're that young?
You're that young? 12/31/90. So if it happened, unless it happened on New Year's Eve 91, then I was 0 years old.
Wow. 0 years old. Wow. Oh my God. CP, how old are you? I don't even know how old are you, CP?
We're like the same age. I was born in 85.
The same age? I was born in 84. Okay. I'm the oldest guy.
84. When were you born, Ben? 84.
July.
Oh, you got me. I'm September.
Wow. Congrats.
I'm the old man, baby.
Are you class of 2002 or 3, Ben?
2002. So
right,
I'm a young end.
Yeah, you are freaking young. Okay.
This weekend, like UNI, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, it very clearly showed just how big of swings there can be in matches like throughout the course of the year, right? Because Northern Iowa loses to South Dakota State, and Coach Schwab talked about that in his Monday press conference yesterday, and like how you got to respond to these things. Then they go out and beat Oklahoma State, and then as you guys mentioned, Oklahoma State beats Iowa State. Like there's just so much variance in guys wrestling throughout the year. So it's good for us because we get to do 3 shows a week, but it makes it hard sometimes to really quantify like, okay, which version of a guy you're going to get. And it's just this weekend perfectly encapsulated that for me, like more so than some other weekends.
And if all you momentum lovers, I think 157 is maybe a case for you guys. Keaton Gertz
momentum lovers.
Yes. I did not see that coming at all. Keaton was 9-11.
He was 9-11 coming into that match, and I mean he was his defense and counterattacks were on point because Sheets was in a couple times. It looked like he was going to score, and then Gertz turned it into his own points. It was really impressive, and then for him to, because it kind of looked, Sheets got that takedown in the third. I was like, he's gonna come back and win this, and then he figured it out. He manned up and created a couple stalemates off some good scrambles and got it done.
Sheets, I think, found himself in that weird zone where it's like, do I ride out for the thing because I'm kind of good on top, or do I let him up? Because the momentum was kind of looking Sheets' way. It looked like he was starting to figure it out. I think now that we know, but I think he probably rode a little too long where maybe should have cut, but we know that now, but they didn't know that then. Boo beat Thompson, which 5-2, but it was actually it was kind of closer than that. It was a pretty close match. And,
but Boo's looking pretty good. I think you could justify ranking him number 1 over Sasso. I didn't even look at who you guys did rank number 1. Well, Christian, you allege it's not you. So, who was ranked number 1 by the guys at Flow?
Boo Allen was ranked number 1.
Oh, Boo was number 1. I would have put Sasso 1.
Yeah, you would have.
I agree, Ben.
Yeah, that would have been wrong.
Do you agree, Nomad?
Mm-hmm.
Would have been wrong.
And me and Spay are going to talk about it tomorrow on Who's Number One the show, which you guys should watch, by the way.
Oh, no.
What time is
Spay
it
better
at?
not lay down. I'm going to be watching. If Spay lays down, I'm coming in the studio and yelling.
Spay needs a stern talking to before the match. Before the show.
No, that
you need
needs to be his mentality.
Up. Yeah, you need to get in there. You need to give him a slap.
Tom Brand smack to the face.
It really sucks that Spay has laid down a few times on FRL because him and I have like some great arguments all the time. He just doesn't necessarily bring that heat on camera.
Him and I about this fought a few weeks ago about Noah Adams.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That was bad.
Right? He was wrong.
You were right. You were right.
I was schooling him, and then he was like, "You don't need to get personal."
So he just
it got personal over Noah Adams.
I called him some names.
Threatened his family.
Yeah, and only his dad. It's like he threatened his mom.
Oh my
No,
God.
I didn't threaten anybody. I just called him names.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's, you know.
But yeah, he just needs to bring that heat on camera. Because
Yeah.
the fire's burning in the belly. You just it extinguishes when he gets on the mic.
That is true. He's a nice
Maybe
guy.
he had too much Casey's.
Maybe too much Casey's pizza. So okay,
Christian, are you and I gonna? We need to get this. We need to get this Friday night call sponsored, and you and I can enjoy a Casey's pizza live on air. Casey's, holler at us. We'll have the Friday night broadcast sponsored by Casey's, and you and I can eat a pie.
It would be funny. I think of a good way to spin zone it, since there's no way we're going to get any sort of sponsorship between now and Friday, is if we like find some coupons and say that that's the sponsorship. We get like a BOGO situation. And
man.
I've never had Casey's Pizza. Admittedly, I'm not avoiding it. Just never really. I don't know how many times I've even stopped at Casey's for gas.
Well, the problem is
you've never had Casey's.
Yeah, you haven't been to Fargo because that's where we go every single morning before wrestling starts.
We
get
smash some Casey's
to get like snacks
and,
and drinks.
Please tell me you guys don't eat the breakfast pizza. Please tell me that's not
That's
the
the
case.
best, Ben. That's the best pizza.
Oh no, not the breakfast pizza.
Yes, the sausage.
God.
The sausage one.
So listen up. Here's why you're wrong about the Fargo thing. Because even if I was there, you know what I do when I'm at Fargo. I'm on that meal plan.
I know.
I'm eating in the hall, in the mess hall.
You and Willie like 2 years ago, like pinky promised to be at Fargo the next year, and then neither of you were there.
How many years has CP missed Fargo now?
It's been 2 or 3.
Just
been there.
just since.
I would do pert near anything to miss Fargo. I cannot explain like if there's like a 1 through 80 of events, like 1 being the one I love the most and 80 being the one I hate the most, it's like 80 and then it skips like 65. I hate Fargo with a burning passion.
Wow.
Really? Why? Is it so long, or what's the problem?
Everything. I don't have time to get into all the reasons why.
I gotta know. Give me top 3 reasons. Top 3 reasons. It's
top 3 reasons. It's insanely long.
It's too long.
It's too long. Okay. The weather is horrid. And
what do you mean? It's like 80 degrees and sunny every day.
It's like 105 and humid and
it has never been 105.
The mosquitoes are terrorists. It
just sucks. When are we outside?
Yeah, when you're outside, you walk across the street to B-Dubs.
Yeah, well, you didn't have to sleep in the godforsaken Motel 6 where the AC was broken, so you had to have the windows open, and there was no screen in the windows, so the mosquito terrorists came in and just ravaged you at night.
Why
whose fault was that?
should book you guys at the only 4-star in Fargo.
Not my fault.
Yeah,
it
wasn't
either.
your fault.
Yeah.
And you had the choice, and you're like, I'm staying with him.
I did, so I didn't know that he's going to do that. Because CP was like, oh, like you're not even staying in the dorms this time. We better. I'm like, no, we're staying in worse. We're staying in
that place was
camp.
worse than the dorms. I stayed in the very nice Holiday Inn with Mike.
Wisconsin used to stay at that Motel 6 every single year. So every single year I competed at Fargo, we stayed at the Motel 6 that you guys are talking about.
Legit.
Just full cement walls everywhere. No or cement block. No drywall. Nothing in the pool, nothing, just cement blocks everywhere. It is kind of like a prison.
Love it.
Awful.
I'll get back to Fargo some year. I won't be this year because the Olympic Games are in July. So
No, aren't they on August for wrestling?
Yeah, August 2nd
Aren't they
to
late
8th.
July? Okay, still
You
way
make
too
us-
much. I need to acclimate. You know, USA Wrestling was here last week, and they say you need, for however many time zones you travel, you need a day of acclimation. So
That's dumb.
Is that too much?
That's dumb. Yeah, dumb.
Ben just goes to Singapore and fights 3 hours later.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd say you do need 2 days or 3 days, but I went across the damn other side of the world. That would be 13 days. You don't need 13 days. Give me a break.
Okay.
Give me a break.
Kazakhstan this
couple.
year, we did it perfectly because of the long
man knows how to
the long
acclimate.
layover in JFK, the long layover in Moscow, and then the timing of the flight. It was overnight to Kazakhstan because you're not supposed to fall asleep right away because then you'll screw it up.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I felt like I was acclimated in a day. It was awesome.
Boom.
Yeah,
One
I
day.
peaked. It was good.
Then you guys all came back with a cough.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did get Kazakhstan whooping cough.
That
Which,
was an
that was a
unfortunate
tough situation.
circumstance. All right, we were somehow talking about UNI Oklahoma State, and it ended up
We were at 165.
we were at
Hey,
165.
I'm gonna tweet Casey's Pizza right now.
Do it.
What do you think about that?
All right, see what you can do. At least they can throw us some pie.
What's their damn Twitter handle? Casey's what? Casey's gas station?
Beats me because they're it's not Casey's Pizza.
It's a general store.
Hey Ben,
It's a
Oh, it is a general store. You're right.
while you're
right on
tweeting at
that.
Casey's,
At Casey's Gin Store.
Casey's Gin Store.
You found it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
I'll-
really the Twitter handle? Oh,
Yeah,
that's 30.
Casey's
How are they not
Gin-
verified? They have 31,000 followers. How are they not verified? This is absurd.
Ben, look at that tweet from January 25th. How can you not eat that pizza?
Oh, that looks delicious.
yeah.
I'm gonna.
They make it. They make it for you right there. The ladies, they take it, they make it, and then they put it right there for you. They're so nice.
What a bunch of
But
nice.
why are they not verified? That's ridiculous.
That is kind of ridiculous.
19 hours ago, they said, it's party time. Feed your whole crew and save on our new party packs. That might be the closest you guys get to a sponsorship.
A party pack. All right, we'll get a party pack.
I really want to try their taco pizza. Everyone in Iowa says
Oh, God.
that's the
Stop.
That's the Ben Askren melding of his two worlds: tacos and pizza. all
Oh,
together.
I love tacos and I love pizza. I never put them together.
Yeah.
Well, you should.
that's bullcrap.
All right, Whitlake looks good. Oh my gosh, Bryce Steyer, what are you doing to poor Joe Smith? That was terrible, but
Oh, that was terrible.
it inspired Joe. I thought he was going to get pinned in that. It was like a bottom leg Turk. It was not good.
That was so ugly.
Yeah, I didn't understand why they put Joe Smith out there. When we saw the result, it was like,
Yeah.
well, if you knew he was going to look like that, why'd you wrestle him against Bryce Steyer? But then he totally redeems himself. And he literally looked like a completely different wrestler. He got 2 takedowns in the third period.
He was coming hard.
He was attacking the whole match. And I think this is probably a pretty good segue to this. Then that sparked Kevin Dresser to just pretty much undress his whole lineup.
Oh my
top
God.
to bottom,
Eviscerated him.
in his press conference, which I know there are a lot of people like, oh, is this the best strategy? Da 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 da. It worked at Virginia Tech. He did it multiple times at Tech.
He did. He used to
Okay.
routinely.
I don't want to burst your guys' bubble, but there's this psychology concept here that's really important. You guys want to hear about it, or am I
Yes.
just-
Yeah, hit us.
You guys
What
can
is
just
up?
call me a nerd and tell me to go away. That's fine. So there's something that's called regression to the mean theory, right? So if this is the mean, right? This is like what your average performance is. Obviously, everyone goes like this, right?
Yeah.
Some people, like David McFadden, his dip is probably like all the way down here because he got tech followed by guys who aren't that good. So regression to the mean. When you go up, right, and you have this good performance, coaches are mostly like, good job, buddy, way to go. And then when you go down, they're like, oh, what was that? You suck. And so what happens is we always regress to the mean. Whether we're up here or whether we're down here, we always come back to the mean, right? So when they yell at them and the guys come back to the mean, they then credit themselves for yelling at them for their performances, regression to the mean. And when they say good job, they think, oh, I shouldn't do that because, well, they regress to the mean. Really what they should think is, well, the coach probably isn't that important as they think they are because there's always a regression to the mean.
Well, I agree with that, but
I get what you're saying. This felt like something that was building with Dresser for a while.
Okay. That is a proven psychological concept. You guys can read about that if you'd like to.
I don't disagree with that. And I think
Yeah.
it would be totally correlated if you just said, oh, I yelled and they did better. That would be not be sound thought.
But that's what a lot of coaches think.
But he said, but that's not what. But Coach Dresser was basically like, we're changing how we do things. He's like, gave a lot of trust, let them do this stuff. They're not telling the truth. He kept saying they're not being honest with themselves. They're not being honest with me. They're not telling me what they're doing. So it's lifestyle stuff. They're getting way too big and they got to crash down.
Yeah,
so
that was the thing for me is he was like calling out how they're living their lives essentially.
Yeah.
Oh.
And like he was like 25. He didn't say names. He was going by weight class. He was like 25 doesn't care enough.
Yeah, it's not important to him.
It's not important to him. He's like 74 thinks they know how to do it better than everybody else. And just he said like Parker, Carr, and Grimmel were fine. And then everybody else, he had something to say.
He's like 41 great, 49 blah blah blah. Like we need Dagan, 57's coming along, 65 it's not important. I mean, it was like, whoa.
Ben, I was wondering
where was Jerry? Sorry, go ahead.
He's hurt.
I was just gonna say I was wondering where you're going through regression to the mean thing, but like I'm sure you've done this as a coach. What they're talking about, like you've let guys be like, fine, you're not going to listen. We'll let you have your thing. If you get the results, then we'll keep doing it your way. But if there's not, then can we try it my way? I'm sure you've done that, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, and so I mean, obviously there is some. So that I don't want my speech to make me think that there's nothing to coaching because obviously I don't think that is true. I just think coaches kind of overthink their importance, especially specifically more on the bottom side when people have terrible performance, the coach yells at him, and then all of a sudden, listen, every kid's going to have a crap performance once in a while, right? Nobody's perfect. And so when the coach yells at them when they have a crap performance, well, just naturally, that kid's probably going to have a better performance next time. They're not always going to have that dog crap performance. So, no, I agree with that, but I would just kind of bring that up because a lot of people over attribute that.
Okay, well, that's basically what you said John Smith probably did with Oklahoma State. He said they got
but John Smith's scary, so it probably worked.
You are right. You are right, sir.
But funny. I mean, like, come on. Okay, listen. Okay, no John Smith yelling or not. You wrestle UNI versus Oklahoma State 10 times in a dual meet. How many times is Oklahoma State going to lose?
I don't know.
Not a lot.
Yeah,
they're not going to lose that dual meet a lot. So that you would agree that is a significantly worse than average performance, right? Against UNI.
Yeah.
So naturally, they're going to come up a little bit. Then you get John Smith yelling at him, and they come up a little bit more.
Yeah, perhaps.
I think you could make the argument Oklahoma State didn't wrestle good. There was maybe one. Or there were definitely some swing matches, but 57 was the only real match where it was like that was a surprise. Like, yes, you and I wrestled well, and maybe Oklahoma State didn't.
Well,
but
30-33, I don't think
match.
you take
one that's old.
Larzik over
Whitcraft's
Whitcraft.
unranked.
He's ranked now.
But that's
but true freshman. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I mean, the other part about the UNI duel, you could also say that UNI probably wrestled better than average, right? I mean, I think that's fair.
Yeah, you could say that. I think they wrestled really well. I do agree with that. Well, I think if you had an athlete, Ben, that was not don't you have the right? Don't you have to? I mean, Izzy talked about it, you have to tell the truth. Tell these guys the truth about.
Course. Agreed.
You're letting your weight get out of control. You're not living the lifestyle conducive to Division I winning. So, I mean, I'm sure you're telling your athletes the truth, especially your elite guys when they're not doing the right thing.
Agreed.
So what's the difference?
No. I was not saying Dresser's not doing a good job. I wasn't saying that at all. I was just saying when you think about these things, when you think about coaches yelling at their teams and then the performance switching, you also have to consider the regression to the mean theory. I think that's really important. I think that's a really important piece that people forget about. And if someone has if David McFadden gets tech balled last Friday night or whatever it was, he's obviously going to have a better performance next time. Like that's like the low of the low for him, right? And so whether someone yells at him or not, he's going to have a better performance the next time out, right? So I'm just saying consider that also when you're thinking about these things.
Yeah.
I think we should re-examine this in the offseason because I do think it's a really good discussion that could honestly take up like a third of an FRL. But I think we got to move on, though.
Clickbait. FRL 502, the Regression to the Mean podcast. Be our most listened to one yet. FloWrestling clickbait at it again. Okay.
No man is the king of clickbait, so I'm glad he wants to talk about it.
Yes.
My favorite is when I get accused of clickbait for a tweet.
Yes.
with no link in it.
What are you clicking? Click to what?
That one I can't.
They don't understand.
I don't know.
People like to just say that. It's just like a fun word to say. They don't actually know what it means. It doesn't even have to make sense when they say it. They just say it. Okay. Other dual thoughts, Ben?
No, I think we covered. Well, are we gonna talk about Ohio State, Minnesota?
Yeah.
We can talk about that one.
Yeah, we can go there.
Want to go there? Okay.
Man, I tell you what, 25. I feel for Malik Heinzelman he's too small.
Too small.
Too small.
Has that been proven? Have we seen him on a scale? What does he weigh?
I've proven it scientifically. There are many
Nomad's
scientists have
the
proven
size
it.
expert. Nomad's the size expert. Nomad.
Dan?
I do
Tell
not
us, please.
think. I think he is one of the rare 125s that is not full sized, and I don't think it's for lack of trying because they lift heavy at Ohio State, and they have good nutrition program. They have good all those things to get you big and strong. And I just think Malik is a naturally small human.
And you just look at how he gets countered. Like, he just kind of gets balled up, like folded in positions that are just clearly like, those are the things that when you have the practice matchups between the guy that's a weight, that's the things he does to that person. So it's not like.
How often does Malik get out techniqued? Like, just clearly,
this
guy's way better technically.
So how small do we think that he is?
I would estimate he's probably naturally like 6 to 7 pounds smaller than all these guys.
Wow. Sure so if he does he weigh in at a full 125 pounds every time?
I think he probably does.
Oh, I bet he does. But I agree with Christian where if in the off season where a big 125 gets up to whatever, call it 45 or 50. Malik's maybe like not practice, eating ice cream every day. Maybe he's at like 30, 32, maybe.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's my thought. It's based on nothing other than watching him.
Yeah, that's fair.
Decatur, we mentioned he looked good against Gliva, but it was Gliva.
I agree.
Pletcher, good. I mean, McKee comes out, gets that first takedown, and then Pletcher was all over. I really thought Pletcher was going to get the major there at the end. He had that double in the third, put McKee down hard. I said, he's getting this major. And he was in on the shot late, just couldn't finish it. But it was really impressive to me to see him do that again.
Yeah, Pletcher's, man, I'm still picking him over Nick Lee, despite people harassing Nomad on Twitter.
The Nomad harassment does not deter Ben Askren. Let it never be said. We talked in depth, I think, about the Sasso-Brayton Lee match. He gave up the first takedown there. It was kind of similar where the takedown he gave up was off of an errant shot that he took that fed right into – I mean, Brayton Lee's one of the best re-attackers in the country.
Yes.
And he found his way to the takedown there. It took him a couple iterations of that attack to finish it, but eventually put him down and going neutral in the third – I understood it, and I went back and rewatched their Vegas match. I was like, I'm sure he didn't go neutral in Vegas, but he did, and he won that match. Yeah. But he was up 3 at that point.
He was up. Yeah, he was up in that match. That was different.
So that was a chief difference.
But Sasso hasn't been like a total killer on top this year. I mean, he's definitely a good top wrestler. He can ride, but I don't know if you're Brayton Lee. Shoot, I might want to choose bottom there. At least one time, see what you got.
Feel it, right?
Feel it. I'm not a choose bottom every. Sorry, go ahead, Nomad.
Sorry to interrupt you, Ben. I think Brayton is, or like the coaches and Brayton are on the same wavelength where it's like, yes, I'm not terrible on bottom. Maybe Sammy's not absolute killer on top, but just like giving myself the best chance to win, I need, give me the full 2 minutes to attack him in neutral as opposed to 90 seconds, 60 seconds, whatever the case may be. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. No, I hate the you got to choose bottom every time mentality. But don't you, if you're Brayton Lee and you're probably going to wrestle in the Big Tens and possibly Nationals, don't you want to know what it feels like? Because when he got how much time was left when he got taken down in the third? Not a lot, right?
No,
I mean, real short time.
20 seconds.
And so you don't know what that feels like on bottom. And hey, if it's 2-2 going into the next match and you got away easy this match, don't you want to know you can choose bottom again? I mean, So I'm not a choose bottom every time guy, but I thought it could have done him some good considering their possible future matchups this year.
Yeah, I thought that. I mean, this isn't Zane Rutherford we're talking about here. This is, Sasso, as you said, he's good on top and he can turn to. But I don't even know if did he even get riding time against Recruiter Vandermeer at Stanford? Like that was kind of an interesting match. So he hasn't been otherworldly from that position. But I also understand the decision. 57, kind of, again, not really mentionable. Ethan Smith gets the late major against O'Reilly, which was impressive. Mm-hmm. He continues to look good. Romero goes and gets it down 1.
Yeah, that's probably – is that Romero's biggest win?
Right, it is, right? So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, definitely. So he's coming along.
Yeah, so absolutely. He's making some serious progress this year.
Yeah, Vince lost him earlier in the year, and then the other good win would probably be Valencia. Would be his next best win. Anthony.
Yeah, they told me.
That's pretty good. Webster over Rocky Jordan, which takes a.
Hey, wait.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my ADHD is kicking in. I interviewed Zahid Valencia for the Rooters podcast yesterday. Number one, he was very pissed that he did not get a pin calling that dual meet, and they should have won, he said. Number two, listen, breaking news, you have to watch the interview, but he said he did MMA, underground MMA fights at 12 years old.
Oh, what?
Yeah, just watch the interview. Watch it.
Underground MMA fights?
That's what he says. Like I said you got videos to prove it, and he said maybe they're out there somewhere.
Oh my god.
He was buddies with Pico. Like that's not that unreasonable.
Yeah, a little human cockfighting. That's boys
I
will be boys.
I want to see the videos. We had boxing gloves in my basement, and and we didn't do MMA because that was a thing in say 1997. But we threw the boxing gloves on, and just fought each other a little bit.
Yeah, I did that with my brother.
Nothing wrong with that.
Or one brother.
Nomad, you got an offer for next year in Fargo from Weston Barrow. I live in Fargo next year. Nomad can stay at my place. I have a working refrigerator, screens in all my windows, and air conditioning.
Wow,
that's I mean, that's
the Fargo trifecta.
Yeah,
the holy trinity of Fargo. You might need to take a
even the time I was here, it still sucked because I was just doing flows and God, I hate Fargo. Man. I hate it.
All right,
you need to stop being so mean to Fargo right now. Yeah,
Fargo needs to stop being so mean to me.
Fargo's been great to you.
Yeah.
Except for the time your phone broke and we had no way to communicate with you.
Oh my gosh, the very first Fargo ever. Nomad's
talk about being thrown to the fire.
Nomad's very first Fargo ever.
Nomad's first Fargo ever. It's not the first one. This will be the 50th Fargo, in fact, this summer. But his phone broke, and he was just walking around with his phone and his charger and just like plugging it into stuff for it to work.
Then it broke, and it wasn't.
Then it broke. Hashtag Android life. And then he had a tablet of some kind that he was trying to use, but it wasn't an iPad, of course.
And it wasn't working either.
It wasn't working. So we had no way to get in touch with Nomad no matter where he was.
I was sold a bill of false goods by the tablet salesman. I hope that guy stuck to me. What a joke.
Okay.
I feel like Nomad likes being incognito like that, like where no one can get a hold of him. I feel like that's something he would enjoy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just gonna read this Tom Brands quote, and I want Ben Askren to react to it.
Oh, I watched this. It's ridiculous.
Well, 7-3 in matches, right? And why do I feel like it was even? That's what I mean. I've got to chill out. I've got to learn to enjoy 7-3 against the number 3 team in the country. I'm not changing though. I'm not saying that, but come on. I want to take on the whole doggone world right now. The guys did a good job. Lugo, if they call that cradle rule, 8-2. If Apple believes, 9-1. If we throw Warner out there, 10-0. How's that for chilling out? I love it.
I mean, listen. Okay, it wasn't a takedown on Sasso. We've established that. Apple beating Luke Pletcher. Come on, man. And Warner over Colin Moore. When you don't throw him out there, don't say that he's gonna beat him. I don't like that at all. So I think he should be happy with his team's performance on Friday night, and I think he should leave it at that because this statement is absurd to me.
That's just where it's at. Colin Moore, by the way, tech-valled Hunter Ritter, who is pretty good
in like the second period.
Yeah, 4 minutes
quickly.
and 32 seconds. He is. I'll never next topic this weight class, but he is emerging.
You cannot next topic it with Colin Moore on top.
Someone kind of came at us, and I think they're kind of right. Like we kind of have painted Colin Moore as this terribly inconsistent wrestler, which he
is inconsistent.
No, he's really not though.
Don't make me go look it up.
It's regression again. It's to your point, the regression to the mean. Some of his downs are noticeable because we know how good his highs are.
Yeah,
most of his downs are matches he won.
Well, and that's part, the thing. That's part of it too.
I'm like, what? What are you talking about? We're talking about he looked tired in a match he won.
I get why Ben says it. You see the 11-9 with Cordell Norfeet, the 5-3, the sudden victory this year with Jake Woodley.
Yeah.
And then
Yes, thank you.
So it's like
he won.
Okay, but then he goes out and attacks Hunter Ritter in 4 minutes and 32 seconds.
Yeah, I know.
So he has these just like overwhelmingly dominant performance where you're ready to next topic the weight class, and he went to sudden victory with Jake Woodley earlier this year and got taken down like 3 times by Cordell Norfleet.
Or like even within tournaments, like at CKLV, he'll text somebody and then he'll have a close one, and we are probably being a little harsh. I mean, the kid's a 3-time AA and like number 1, but sometimes, and everybody has them, but sometimes there are some ones where like he should have won by more, should have won, and that's just what happens. I think that kid battles a lot more injuries than we realize, and I guess a lot of D1 guys do, but I think like that guy's a lot more hurt than people know.
I don't know. I don't think it's that.
Okay.
Within the tournament, he's just like, I hurt for this one, but the finals, I'm good. I don't think so.
No. I just think sometimes it gets to him, or he allows it to get to him a little more than other times.
I don't think. Okay.
Okay, ready? So do you guys realize so maybe it's 2 years old. Last year he did go to overtime with Eric Schultz. But to what you guys brought up, those are those matches here. Do you guys remember he got pinned twice by Kyle Connell? Do you guys realize how much better? Do you guys realize how much better Colin Moore is than Kyle Connell? So just on those matches alone, I think inconsistent. And then you also have that Rec Hall loss to Kassar, who was a backup at the time. It was not a national champion, Anthony Kassar. And so there are those up and down matches. If you think of Colin Moore in the U.S. Open Finals, who's up 10-2, who is just about to tech fall him, and then somehow figures out a way to lose. It's just Colin Moore's up and down. I don't know. I think it's hard to disagree with that.
All right. Okay.
I mean, you guys can be Colin Moore homers if you want, but I'm trying to be truthful like Coach Dresser.
All right, tell the truth. Tell the truth. But I just don't like the idea that the whole seems like 80% of the argument to the Colin Moore is inconsistent is matches that he won. That's my thing. I get it, close matches, but it's kind of like that.
But I think even Colin would be. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he said this to me on camera, where he acknowledges that sometimes he's not at his best when it doesn't make sense for him to not be at his best. Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay.
Coach O has Tell the Truth Mondays.
Wow. We just missed it by a day.
Really?
Yeah. He every day is named.
I gotta watch that.
Every day is named something. It's like
a theme.
Yeah, it's Tell the Truth Monday, like Turnover Tuesday, something. Yeah.
Technique Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
Hey, I want to talk about this. This is interesting to me. So Ivan _FS Wrestling or at Sikkim_D. You should all follow this guy if you have even the slightest interest in international wrestling, because he is like the oracle for Russian wrestling. He knows what's going on. This guy is crazy connected. Anyways, he tweeted to Diev, the executive committee of Russian wrestling, from Urigan. I'm trying to like put together the broken English. The world champions Ogoyev 57, Rashidov 65, Sidikov 74, Sadulayev 97 decided to send them to Euros 2020. Now it's impossible to win nationals and go to the Olympics. You have to prove yourself during the Olympic cycle. So basically what he's saying here is Ogoyev, Rashidov, Sidikov, Sadulayev, they're basically on the team. They're going to be the Olympians for Russia. And I said this is bad process, so this is good for America. And the reason I feel, yeah.
Well, why do you think that's a bad process? Those guys. Obviously they're all returning world champions.
Yep.
And does Russia even get to have a team this year? 'Cause I thought they didn't.
I'm sure they're gonna be there, in one way.
What do you mean?
Other.
I thought they get kicked out of the Olympics.
They're gonna be there. Come on, you know it, Ben.
But I thought there was an announcement they got kicked out of the Olympics. They can compete under a neutral flag in some way, shape, or form.
There was
but
one
Russia
in 2016 too. They're gonna be there.
But man, help me out here. Is Christian talking crazy?
No, they're 100% going to be there. Whatever flag, whatever fake flag, they're 100% going to be there. The only difference will be the singlet that they wear, the flag that's raised when they win, and the biggest one is the money will not go to the Russian Federation.
Right.
Who's going to coach them? The Russian coaches?
100%.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, Tadiev
I'm disappointed.
and Omarov and all those guys will be there.
So, here's my point. Here's why it's bad process. Because I like the idea, and the reason you could say, all right, these are their best guys. Yeah, they're their best guys. But I love the idea that Jordan Burroughs is training right now because he knows Kyle Dake and Isaiah Martinez are coming for his spot. And I think there's an advantage to that for America, that Kyle Snyder now is potentially training with Jaden Cox in his mind. And Jaden Cox is training to beat Kyle Snyder, a world champion. And that Spencer Lee and Gilman, there is an advantage to that. And there is a psychological component. When you know that the day you have to be good is late July, early August, you can't tell me the human mind is what it is. And as dedicated as these guys are, you can kind of let some things go. Or you can maybe say, I just really have to be ready for this thing. And I like the idea that they really don't have to be good until early August, whereas our guys are going to be trying to get as good as they possibly can through their nationals, through the trials, and then up to the Olympic Games. That is an advantage for us and is a disadvantage for Russia that they don't have to do, because those guys would probably and likely make the team anyways. But I would like Rashidov to beat, I mean, think about this. They've got the Olympic champion, Romanov, there. That's probably not going to be on the team because they say he's not on the team. That's the reigning Olympic champion in 2016. And they say, well, it's Rashidov because Rashidov, I mean, did you watch that Aliyev match? Okay, you want to say it's the guy head and shoulders. I don't agree. I would want to see that guy. Well, do it again. Beat these Russians. And everyone says, the Russian death. Okay, so, and that's why they're so good, because they have to beat all these guys to do it. And you're basically eliminating that part. You used to be, the Russians are so good because you have to beat so many amazing Russians to be on the team. Now it's just like, be the best guy for the quad. That's bad process. Good for America. You can't convince me otherwise.
Okay. That was a pretty impassioned speech. I think the only positive to that is, I don't totally disagree. I think you made a good point. The only thing I would say to that is that, obviously Kyle Snyder or David Taylor, and both of them, because Jaden Cox is so cunning, are worried about Jaden Cox, right? Jaden Cox knows which one of those guys you should be worried about. Both those guys don't know who to worry about. So we have guys that are worried about training for other people when they could just be focused on getting better, right? Because beating one person specifically to make a team doesn't necessarily make you a better wrestler as a whole, when maybe you should be focusing on other areas. So that, I guess that would be the only argument to the other side. I guess the second, well, I have two. The second argument would be that in their minds, they're guaranteeing, whether it's fair or not, that their best guy in their head is on the team, right? Whereas in America, hey, in 2016, obviously they wouldn't have picked Frank Molinaro, right?
Right.
That wouldn't have been the guy who got picked. And is that better or worse? I don't know. Would Brett Metcalf have done better?
They wouldn't have picked Jaden Cox.
Yeah, they wouldn't pick Jaden. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's tough to say. I think we have the most fair way to do it. We have the most fair way, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it could be fairer too. You could say everyone in the same bracket but I think we do the best combination of the two.
Yep.
But yeah, I think just to assume he was the best last year, that can be maintained, is just to like deny how sports work, right? To deny how the human body works, to deny how athletics work. And I think it's a bad idea, and I hope it backfires for him, because I cannot stand Russian wrestling.
I think there's a couple things that go into this. So number one, devil's advocate, right? So you tweeted about we posted the Seabass clip of his justification for wrestling for Puerto Rico, and
exactly.
So there are some
guys.
He's
telling the truth. I mean, just be honest. It's about being on the team, and that he would rather wrestle for America. He admitted both of those things. It is better to wrestle for the country you're from, and it's all because he wants to be on the team. That's what I appreciate that.
Well, let's not get into that one right now. We've
had
that one, and we'll get back into it again. But I think we should focus on the Russia one. I love your passion right now, though, CP. I love it. But the argument is, right, like, man, these guys. While I do understand and agree with you that there is value to, I have to beat this whole bunch of guys. I have to be tested. I have to do all these things. There's also these guys are admitting, like, man, this is so nice. I don't have to go through this. I can just focus on getting better and going to ranking tournaments and going to my continental and like doing all these things. So there is some justification on the other end of not making them go through all that. And I also think every country. This is just like inarguable but hard to explain. Like every country is different, and the makeup of how they do things should be different. Like Azerbaijan should not pick their team the way that we do. Russia should not pick their team the way Azerbaijan does. Iran should not pick their team the way we do. Right? Like all these different components. Now, on an individual basis, Aguyev should absolutely be the guy. They have no one at 57 that can do anything. 65, they should definitely make Rashidov wrestle Romanov. Romanov lost to Sharayev, who was a junior world silver and is an up-and-comer. So I do think there should at least be some sort of, even like a mini four-man for 65.
Robin.
Yeah, round robin.
Robin.
74, I don't know. I'm very torn because like Sidikov is just clearly the guy, but they do have a lot of the Gazi Magomedov just beat Sabalov. Sabalov, if he doesn't give up a kind of controversial takedown to Sidikov 2 years ago at Russian Nationals, like their careers go in totally different directions. So I would say maybe you have to make Sidikov wrestle 86. Obviously, you have to have a guy wrestle 97.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. But so I think 57, 97, I'm okay with it. But 65 and 74, I think they should have to do something. Now, they do have to go to Euros, so at least there is something that they have to do. But I think they should also have to go through some of the various really high-level guys that Russia has.
But this happened last year. Didn't they send Rashidov to Euros? He did not win. I'm pretty sure they sent Rashidov to Euros. He did not win. Or maybe it was Chikayev. I forget what happened. But I feel like they kind of sent someone.
Oh, yeah. So they screwed Chikayev because...
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. So... And there are some inconsistencies to the process, so I'm not fully defending the Russian process. Like last year, Chikayev beats Rashidov at Urigan at the weight, and then Chikayev doesn't get the opportunity to be the guy. So there's definitely some inconsistencies with it. And that's part of why I do think, and I love Rashidov, and I've said for a while I think Rashidov's going to be the Olympic champ this year. But I do think there are some inconsistencies with it where they should have to make guys like him go through it, if nothing else, because Chikayev beat him, because Aliyev had that insane match with him.
Yeah, they're not that. He's just not head and shoulders above his counterparts in Russia. I think it's a mistake. But I'm here for it. It's great. Hey, no questions today. It's 9:46, which means it's go time.
You guys didn't ask any questions. What the heck?
No, there's a bunch.
There's some good ones in there. Yeah,
I know.
Good ones in there.
We'll bring them back over. They'll be just tomorrow. That's the best part.
We hit a lot today.
We hit a lot. We did good, boys. Caleb, feel free to roll that beautiful song footage. Sorry. Thanks so much, guys. Tune in 451 strong. Ben and I are formulating our plan for Iowa City. We're gonna take
Casey's Pizza, baby.
Casey's Pizza.
Let's go.
We get there early Thursday. Caleb and I, my son's going, so maybe we'll share some Casey's Pizza together.
What's the Flow TV today? Did Bader say?
I don't know. I don't remember.
We usually got some. Make sure you check out Flow TV. Make sure you check out the Northwestern videos. I went there and I'll be getting those up. Yesterday we ran the Ryan Deacon one. Lots of great content on the site. Watch me and Spin who's on the show tomorrow.
Flow TV is best of finals, Midland, Scuffle, World Team Trials.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nice.
Hey Ben, be ready. Tomorrow we're doing the Iowa Penn State breakdown. You and me, because I can't do it Thursday. You're not off the hook for Thursday, Ben, because you're not coming in until Friday. Yes, you'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll keep the virtual whiteboard for you guys.
Keep the virtual whiteboard, yeah, baby. Hey, thanks so much, guys. We will see you tomorrow. Have a good Tuesday.
All right. Peace.